Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome back in the class today. Yesterday, we were discussing about the techniques that how we can gather the requirement. So we've done the three techniques. Now we are coming to the fourth one, and we'll complete this remaining one today. Interface analysis. Let me come and search here for interface analysis. Okay, good. So what this says as the interface meaning means something in between which you need to be analyzed, right? So what interface analysis says that it is used to identify where, what, why, when, how, and for whom the information is exchanged within the solution component or across the solution boundaries. मतलब कि if I take a normal example of interface analysis kind of things, how when I click on a button on a form on a website, how this is exchanging the information with the background things, because user is just clicking on a button, right? He don't know that what is happening in the background, but that button has a logic which is exchanging some information, some components in the background. So that is called the interface analysis here. An interface is a connection between the two components of the solution. Mainly if I understood correctly, or if we can say that it is kind of an integration. One part where two components connecting or collaborating or talking with each other. Maybe two components, maybe two different solutions. Most solutions require one or more interface to exchange the information with the solution component or unit in the business processes. Okay, let come here and find out something here. This is something like this. देखो ये है. So it means what we can say that interface analysis means something is coming from here like CPU or computer. What we say input, output, and in between there is CPU. So something like this they'll be discussing here. That how one part of my solution is interacting with the other part of my solution. So this is called the interface analysis. But take a logic you'll be understanding. Customer says that I want that when a user click on this button, I get some pop-up. Now how that will be work, we have to be see here. So this is the one example. Maybe other example we can see like this. What is coming, what is going out, how these two are interacting, this thing. Okay. Let me open this. Same thing it open. So guest, admin, and how they have been interacting with the hotel reservation. Okay, so it means hotel reservation will be my one of the interface, but I need to be identify that how I as an admin and how Suraj as a guest can interact with this particular stuff. And it says the basically these 5 points. Identify people in the form of the direct end users or users who might be external to the system but may impact the information output. Means who is going to be use this particular interface. That is number one point. What? Determine the volume and the type of information that is being exchanged. What you'll be exchanging? Information, email, SMS, pop-up message, data, what you'll be exchanging. Where? Touch point means that trigger point. Until unless you will not click on the OK button, you cannot log in into the website. Either you means you entered your username and password, but you did not click on the OK button. So these are the trigger points. Identify when the current touch points of the information exchange occurs on the user to system, system to user, system to system. When? Examine the timings and the frequency. How frequently it is be auto or it is be user defined. Why? This is, as I said, until unless you will not click. So that is a why here. Why you want to be clicked to go to the next level. And how the information will be exchanged in the background. So as per our interface analysis, we mainly cover these 7 points between the solution components or the across the solution. Interface type includes user interface, which we saw like website, mobile app, people external to the solution such as stakeholder, the regulators. How I'm going to be talk to my stakeholders via email, via Teams. That is also one of the interface. What is the business processes to build my solution? Data in that. Any hardware devices. And this 7 point which we discussed just now. Who will use the interface? What information is exchanged? When information will be exchanged? Where it will be exchanged? Why it has been exchanged? And how it will be implemented. So interface analysis, we see these things. So mainly if I say that being a BA, you should know the 5 whys. Why you want, when you want, whom you want, how you want. So all these 5 questions, if you remember that in the beginning, maybe day 1 or day 2 class, I said that BA should ask these questions on the basis of the BACM model. What is your need? What is the context of this solution? Who is my stakeholder? What is the change you are looking for? So it means if you know these 5 whys or this 5 whys at one H, then you will be doing the interface analysis. And how it's be done? This is my solution 1. This is my interface. This is my another solution. So this, as a pick up already the example here, if you see this one, maybe this is input, this is output, maybe this is input, this is input, and this both are coming to the system directly. So it says like this. Input भेजा, validate हुआ, output आया, solution का message आया. Like let's take example. I want to recharge my mobile phone. Okay. I go to the website, enter the number, enter the amount, click on the OK. It show me the pop-up message or maybe it show me the message for the payment. Sorry. It show me the message. It's doing some validation here. I enter my UPI code. It go to my bank website. That is another solution. It take the payment and send me the message that payment has been updated and I receive the message my mobile phone. That is the interface. Because being a BA, you need some tool, right? Where you want to be implement all these things. So this is the interface analysis for me. Same concepts, prepare for the identification. The business analyst can leverage other techniques such as document analysis, observation, scoping, model interview. That how the interface is working. What is the interface? So when I go for a discussion, my customer says I am using the change management. My first question to him or her is that, okay, how you're doing at point of time? Are you using any tool, any email, any SMS, any manual? So those are the interfaces. Tool is interface, email is interface, manual is not interface. But if I say manual, it means somewhere you are logging, adding this information. So that is the first part. Prepare for the identification, and you can identify these things via another techniques as well, so that you can understand that what is the interface they guys are using. Then conduct the interface. Conduct interface identification. Now it says that after analysis the as is state, on the basis of the previous documentation, process, solution, you can identify that what is the future state of each stakeholder of the in the system. So that is the conduct interface identification. No, I don't want to go for the email now. I want some tool on the place. That is a future state. How I came to know? Because I was preparing for the identification where I have a old documents, reference documents, interviews. So these thing I done that part. Now it says for the each interface, the business analyst describe the function of the interface. That what it will do, how it will do. Assess the frequency of the interface usage. Remember that example. My customer says, Atul, I want a report which they are going to be used just once in a year. That is the frequency of that interface. Evaluate which type of interface may be appropriate. When I say the which type means they are talking about these types. Kind of these things. Yeah, we will see the this thing type of interfaces may appropriate. Maybe it is like a context one. This one means data flow will be fine, context will be fine, observation will be fine, how it will be fine here. And at last, elect initial details about the interface. How this has been built, what is the main functionality of this interface, how this can be used, how this can be maintained. And then it comes for the defined interfaces. Once you understand, once you assess, evaluate, then you define yes, this is the interface I'm going to be used. I'm using a manual. I'm just sending an email to raising a change. Now I need some interface on the place. After seeing a lot of things, I say let's use Jira for this interface now. Jira is a tool, we will use that interface. And then define the interfaces. That how customer will know about this. An email will go out from the system to the customer and customer will know about this by that manner. How my end user will know that his account has been recharged or not? Only and only via SMS. That is the interface we are talking. How my admin will know that incident has been raised? They will get a pop-up when any new incident has been created in the system. So that is called the defining of the interfaces here. Requirement for interface are primarily focused on the describing the input to the output of that interface. Any validation rule that governs those inputs and outputs in the event might trigger interaction. But if you are entering the wrong password, then it is an interaction. But when I say if you are entering a wrong password, you should get a pop-up message and you should get a SMS on your phone as well. That is doing the interaction. It means when I click on the OK, I need to be enter the details again in that area. Business analysts consider who will use the interface. Now to the end user, only service portal is available as the interface, not the emails. What information is passed? When, where that interface take place? भाई अभी आप अपने items add to cart कर रहे हैं. Did Amazon, Flipkart, or any third party of these apps ask you that do the payment? No. until unless he will not say checkout. So that is the interface, when and where the interface take place. The interface defines user workflow as well, with the rules and the privileges. एक शादी में I'm the youngest one, or I can say the elder one. Let's say elder one. I am allowed to go in any of the room to check the arrangements. That is my user privilege, my role out there. Now, if I come here, in order to identify any major design issue, interface between the solution and process component are the required. Means interface help us that what and how to build that and what are the challenges can be there. User says when I click on the OK button, I should get a two messages on a two different number. It is a requirement. It is an interface now. Now the design challenge is that I cannot send the message on the same time on the two numbers. It should be one number and after 5 minutes it should be another number. So during the interface part, you find out these problems as well. And what interface definition includes name of the interface, coverage or span of the interface, exchange model between these tools. So like this thing. This is the name of the interface, coverage that this will go to this. This is the coverage part I'm talking here. Message format that it will go in which format, email or maybe XYZ, ABC, 123, how it will go, and then exchange frequency is the main part of this interface analysis. Benefits क्या हैं? थोड़ा पिक्टोरियल मिल जाता है, हमें लार्ज और द ब्रॉडर साइड का हमें एक लुक मिल जाता है. We can see the requirements, business rule, constraints easily. But the limitation क्या है? Does not provide the insight into the other aspects. Now I don't know that what is happening here. Internally I don't understand what is the mainframe is doing. What is this sensor input is doing. मुझे वो level का information interface में नहीं मिल पाता. Either I need to be bring down more these things, either I need to be add some text here. Okay. This is a technique called the interface analysis. Any doubt here? Yes, go ahead.
No.
Okay.
No.
Good. Now the next point is that next technique is that called the interviews. Very simple, very easy. Is called to set up a meeting with one-to-one, in person, on call, on maybe somewhere, where you go with a set of questions and you identify and you get the answers of the same. That is called the interview. We all know that what is interview. You do not ask the irrelevant question. You ask only the relevant question, because the people you are inviting in this interview are not free guys. They are on the higher management and they can give you only few minutes only for that part. Okay. In interview, you are able to identify a lot of information on the high level side, because इन लोगों को ज्यादा नहीं पता था कि भाई ग्राउंड लेवल पे कैसे काम चल रहा है, बट हाँ सिस्टम या बिजनेस कैसे काम कर रहा है, दे नो ऑल दिस थिंग्स. So it is one of the good technique has been considered. It is a common technique as well to be used that part. One-to-one interviews are most common. In a group interview, अगर group में होता, but it's little tricky because my inputs can change the mind of the other persons as well. So basically we say it's a one-to-one is the good option. Okay, two type of interviews are there, structured or unstructured. Okay, like during our PhD journey, I need to be conduct some interviews with the people of experts in that area. Then I cannot say, okay guys, I need your 5 minutes or half an hour. Can I have a one-to-one call or one-to-one meeting? If they say yes, and they can ask, okay, send me the list of the questions if possible, so that I can be little prepared for the same. That is called a structured interview. Predefined set of questions. Either I ask to Hitesh, either I ask to Suraj, either I ask to someone else. I will ask only these 5 questions. Unstructured interview, where your the other person response may change the question for next question for from my side. Like in our generally jobs interview, if I'm taking a see job interview is the both actually structured or unstructured. I know that I need to be get these 5 questions first from your side. After that, on the top of those questions, if you answer something, I put my another questions as well, which are not the part of my earlier format. So that is called the unstructured interview. And in the practice, we use the both ways. As and when required, we add or we drop the interview questions. Okay. In this, what is the important point is that level of understanding of the domain by the interviewer. Before you ask the question, you should also know that what is the level of your understanding in that particular domain. Okay, that is number 1 point. You should have a little experience in conducting the interviews. In the interview, you have to be listen and you have to be document as well. So that skill you should know that ऐसा नहीं है उसने बोला x और आपने लिख दिया x minus. Because in the interview, we always capture word to word, point to point. Degree of clarity in the interview is mind about the goal and report of the interviewer and the interview. That how closely you are related. All these things are there. What are the main elements? Interview goal. The main purpose of the interview goal is that to get the maximum requirement from that particular person. Maybe technical, maybe non-technical, maybe functional, maybe business. But it should align with the need of the business. ऐसा नहीं उसके साथ बैठे कुछ और ही डिस्कस करने लग गए. No. It should be aligned with the needs that what exactly business want here. The individual goal for each interview based on the interview provided. हो सकता है कि जो इंटरव्यू मैं मैनेजर डायरेक्टर के साथ कर रहा हूं द सेम इंटरव्यू विल नॉट हैपन विद द ऑपरेशन गाय, क्योंकि यहां पर गोल और यहां पर गोल दोनों में अलग अलग हो जाता है. Then identify the potential interviewees. Who can be my interviewees here? Is the project manager, sponsor, operation guys, who are these? So this is my responsibility as a business analyst. So always remember that when I talk about the stakeholder, these things come into the picture then. Number 3, interview questions. To achieve your goal, you should prepare the interview questions as well. And for that, you have to collect the data. And how you collect the data? By reading the documentations, by doing the interface analysis, maybe by doing the focus group. Researching on the stakeholder view on the change, another point. How you think that coming technology will change the world? Which is the coming technology? You should specify here. We will discuss these points. Developing a proposed solution. And finally, building a rapport with them. And 2 important points are there. Open-ended question and the close-ended question. This is very much important, very much important. Open-ended question means the question you put is not ending somewhere. User can think a lot about the same. And it is the case when you have to be use the both. What is the drawback of ITL4? Open-ended. I did not put any kind of a parameters. I'm talking about the business, I'm talking about the technology, I'm talking about the financials, I'm talking about the implementation. No, it is open-ended. Maybe I can think about the personal as well, or social impact as well. These are good, but sometimes these are create a lot of confusion as well. They can contradict as well. Sometimes they have a contradict. So it is well said that some or one or two questions should be open-ended and rest should be the close-ended, which has a response yes, no, or a specific number. Do you think or are you sure that my company will achieve a target of 1 billion? Yes. Because these type of questions help you to prove the previous questions as well, previous statements as well, maybe process guidance as well, process document as well, document analysis as well. They prove it actually. So in this important point is that whenever you're building your question set of questions, then you should know that what is the open and what is the close-ended points are there. Clear. Then interview logistics. लोकेशन क्या होगा, रिकॉर्ड होगा कि नहीं होगा, क्वेश्चंस पहले भेजने हैं बाद में भेजने हैं, उस टाइम भी रखेंगे, and how to make sure that the result of that interview should be confidential. That is another very much important point. Nowadays a lot of companies doing the surveys. सर आप चॉकलेट खाते हैं, उस पर सर्वे कर लेते हैं. How you will make sure that the data you're providing will be stay confidential there? There's a no way. So we have to make sure, even in our PhD result, in our PhD journey, when we took the surveys, when we took the interviews, we had to make sure that this data should not be leaked outside. When you're doing the surveys on the life specific elements, where you asking that maybe the age, date of birth, your sex interest, your married life, your sex life, your romantic life. These are the very confidential parts. You cannot open the results to everyone. So you have to make sure that it should be confidential. Why my employees are not happy? They says, sir, salary अच्छी नहीं है, benefits अच्छे नहीं है, bonus नहीं मिलता, and all the things will be there, right? So you have to be make confidential of all these questions or answers, so that it should not leak out and not available to the public for the access. This is only you know. On the basis of the different questions or the different interviews, you draw a pattern, but it doesn't mean that you present that answers as well to the community. No. And then interview flow. When you open the interview, it should contain the purpose, confirming that you invited the right one or not, just to be on the initial rules part, and explain that how the information will be recorded and shared to the interviews. Very important. Means it's like a भूमिका जो बांधना होता है, prerequisites जब आप discuss करते हैं, like we guys do. Before I say I'm starting the recording, I said, okay, what is the purpose of this recording? Who are you guys? You are belonging to which domain, which responsibility you have, and how you will access that recording later on. During the interview, it is very much important point. Why? Because sometimes when we ask any question, the interview can take the set of question into the other direction as well. So it is your responsibility to make sure that you or the other person should be on the focus on the goal itself. So maintain the focus on the established goal. Important. Consider both the willingness of interviewer to participate in the interview. You want to do the interview and he want to be appear in the interview. ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने बोला वो आ गया बस उसका मन नहीं है, लेकिन नहीं. That you have to be sensate. Consider that several meetings might require to conduct entire interview process. Maybe before interview also you have some meetings and understand and give them an overview that what you are building, why you are looking for interview. Then manage the concern raised by the interviews during the assessment part. If required, you can do for the another follow-up. Then notes are important point here. Closing the interview. Asking the interviews in the area that may not have overlooked. Before you say, okay, so when I go for the interview, let's say I done my 5 questions. I just see once again that is any question which has been overlooked, overemphasized. Maybe I can ask few more questions on the top of that. Providing the contact information to follow up the additional information. Summary, and finally, thank you to the interview. And if required, you can go for the follow-up session as well. Generally, this particular interview approach is work in the area of the product development specifically. As a BA, I done 1 or 2 interview max in my entire career till now. Because अपना काम workshop में हो जाता है. If required, if only then I go for the interview. ठीक है. The benefits 1-to-1 होता है, आमने सामने दिखता है, आपको समझ में आता है उसका सिचुएशन क्या है. Limitations क्या है? A lot of time required. इंटरव्यू के लिए इंटरव्यू कंडक्ट करने के लिए भी ट्रेनिंग चाहिए होता है, so that you can conduct the good interview. Another important point, maybe you have some other understanding when you ask the question, and the person has some other understanding, and it may create some intentional leadings as well. मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा, what you think that why employees are leaving the company? The interview take it to the personal life as well. मेरे साथ तो ऐसे होता है, मेरे साथ तो ऐसे होता है, मैं ऐसे नहीं, मैं वैसे नहीं. So these things can be there. So this is another technique which is be required important in the requirement allocation. Now put any question here.
Follow careful.
Suraj.
Atul, open and close questions to the na. Open questions will be something like once we get the answer for the previous question, we will probe a new question from that, right?
Open questions basically रहते हैं जहां पर proper idea नहीं होता आपको कि क्या आंसर होना चाहिए. Like how's your life, Suraj? It is an open-ended question. Now you can add professional, personal, married life, in-laws life, parents life, everything you can include.
Okay. Overall हम लोग आंसर देते हैं वहां पे.
हाँ. Close question. Are you happy with your working culture? Yes or no? That is a close-ended question. It is important. It is important to be understand this part. Basically, the reason we say if I want to know about the overview, then I put the open-ended question. Like I say, guys, what is the meaning of the requirement? There is a close-ended question. Because I want to just know about the requirement meaning. Okay. So these things become very, very important when you ask the question that how this. It is a drawback that for that you need a training that how to do the effective interviews. In our again I coming to this because in our PhD journey it is told us very clearly that how to write the questions. If you say like if you done any kind of a surveys, okay, what is your age? Nobody will mention that exact age. But if you ask what is your age group, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 20 to 30, 30, 40, then you will easily able to answer that part. Right? So that is a way to asking for the age. Maybe you can narrow down it. Maybe आप बोलोगे 5 से 8, 8 से 10, 10 से 12, or maybe I can put the 5 years as well, 6 years as well. So this is the way. If I want to know about your personal life, I need to put a question in such a manner that it should not be look like that I'm taking a lot of information from you. I can say your interest in social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, all these things I can put. And you can say tick, 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 tick. I'm getting about your interest now here. Okay, so it is very important that you as a interviewer know that how to frame that question, how to put that question. Wrong wordings can lead to the wrong answers as well. Okay, that is it is always said that BA should be very strict or clear on the terms and terminologies. Okay, now let's go to the observation. Yeah. This one. Observation, as we saw in the previous discussions as well, something which you are observing by viewing. That's all. It's observation. In a group discussion, the judge is just observing. He or she is not speaking anything. No, he or she is just observing that what the candidates are answering, how and who is answering, who is leading, and all the things will be there. That is called the observation. Okay, it is used a basic of identifying needs and opportunities, setting up the performance standards, evaluating the solution, and supporting the training and development part. Like when any new teacher join a school, one day one or day two, any other teacher as well sit in that class just to see the observation, just to do the observation that why, how he's she or he is asking this question, how she is or he handling the students, and all the things will be there. It help you for the opportunities, business processes building, setting up the performance standards. Observation of activities, also known as a job shadowing, involves the examining a work activity firsthand as it's performed. I say, okay, Suraj, go to go to Bombay from Pune. How he handled this activity, how he performed this activity, I'm just observing it. Maybe he is taking bike, car, scooter, aeroplane, rocket, anything he can take. Okay, and few people are there who are good in the observation. By observing the body structure or the body language, I can tell that what type of person it is. These guys are just observer. They're doing nothing. And in this criteria, we have a two type of observations: active and noticeable. While observing an activity, the observer asks any question as they arise. Why you are doing this thing? I'm noticing it, and it's active. Passive, during the activity, observer does not interrupt the work. Any concern can be raised when the conversation is over. Why have you done this part during this particular area? So that is called the passive part. Both are required. Like if you go in the demo, when I go for the client demo specifically, maybe for RFP's part, it was the rule, guys, if you have any question, please ask after the demo only. You observe the things, you note down the questions, but ask only after the demo only. So both things can be work, but it's depend on the what type of information looking for at the same time. While observing on activity, observer ask any question as they arise. Despite this interruption to the workflow, the observer can more quickly understand the rationale behind these processes as well and make some decision. Why you go to the cab when you have only two changes? so that you can take a decision that if less than 5 changes are there, I'll not take the changes to the cab meeting, so that I can make a quick decision. And in this, the same thing can be done little later as well. I'm collecting all the points. I'm trying to build the all rational behind of all the steps. Okay, it's totally depend that what type of observation you're doing. Generally, these things happen when we go for the kind of a process improvements. Then these things happen actually. Okay, now what elements it includes? Observation objective. And what the objectives? Understand the activity and its element. Like when I was doing this quality audits, what I do, I go to the agent place, the service agent, and say, okay guys, open any incident, tell me that how the life cycle work. Done. I'm done with this. No question I ask. He just say I this things. Okay, I write down the my points and come back. Post that I'll say that these are the loopholes in that particular incidents or that particular activity. And in this, the main part is that opportunity for the improvements. You can set up the new matrices as well. And you can validate what has been told, is it has been following or not. क्योंकि अगर आप इंटरप्ट करोगे तो शायद सामने वाले को हिंट मिल जाएगा कि अच्छा भाई ऐसे कर रहा है, इसका ये पर्पस है, तो मैं थोड़ा सही बोलना शुरू कर देता हूं. Then prepare for the observation. You have to be start planning. What planning? That what question I should put to do a right observation. I want to be understand that how the major incident handled in your team. And I start asking questions on the change management. If a change failed, then what happened? I can directly ask that what is the way that you will be handling the major incidents. So these preparations are required. I'm again from the experience perspective, very less BAs use this technique. Okay. And to do observation, you should be aware about this thing. Sorry, during this prepare part, all the stakeholders should be aware that what they have to be tell, and they should be agree on the expected output. The quality audits, the audits which happen, what they say, the big companies, the big consulting says, okay, send me your 5 changes. They did not ask any question to you. They just do the observation. Invite me in your cab. Then they're done their part. And then finally conduct the observation session. Same thing before, during, and after the closing part. When you say before observation, explain why this observation has been conducted. So it look like a interview only. But in the interview, you have a specific set of questions. In the observation, you tell to the other person and then you observe the answers, their body language, right? So in this, you can put some ground rules as well, like this. They are saying why observation is conducted, their personal performance is not being judged. Then they can stop at any point of time. If you want to record some kind of thing, sharing the reasoning, you can put means in the observation. If you want that the process should be improved, so you have to be give a lot of information during that part. During observation, ऐसा नहीं है कि सामने वाला कुछ बता रहा है आप सो गए या अपना फोन चेक करने बैठ गए. In this case, you will miss out the important steps. So attentiveness is required. Record what is seen. जो देखा वही रिकॉर्ड करो, ये नहीं अपने मन से कुछ भी लिख दिया. And you can ask the questions to get more observation. And finally, you confirm and present the observation results. Maybe observation will be done by seeing 1 or 2 candidates, maybe 5 or 10 candidates, just to be generalize this part. Right? So these are the important steps here. Benefits, yes, 1 to 1 होता है, अच्छा रहता है, आमने सामने आपको दिखता है, इजिली ऑब्जर्व कर पाते, लेकिन ड्रॉबैक क्या है, टाइम टेकिंग है. The other person think that my personal performance will be judged here now. They have to be, because it is a planned observation. I make a change in the work just to prove that yes, I'm doing the right thing here. Okay, so हर टेक्निक का अपना प्लस और माइनस दोनों है. It is depend on you that how to be get that information out here. Like now you guys are observing me that how I'm teaching it. When I say any question, you did not ask any question. You say no, Atul, it's all fine. It means during our discussion, you're not asking any question. Maybe you are judging me. Oh, he has a good knowledge in this area, right? Like in the interview panel, 5 people are there. Only 2 or 3 people ask question. What other 2 do? They just do the observation. How I'm behaving, how my body language is there, what type of answers I'm giving. Did I making able to eye contact or not? These are the observations are there. Now, any question? पूछ लो कोई नहीं.
No, not getting any at the moment. Going with the flow.
Good. Now the next is the called the prototyping. In simple words, if I say prototyping means something you build as a model. It's called the prototyping. Like if I go here, this thing. Like when you build a kind of a model, that is called the prototyping here. Okay. Prototyping is used to elect and validate stakeholder needs to an iterative process that create a model or design of requirement. भाई मेरे कस्टमर ने बोला मुझे अतुल I want incident management or the change management or the health management system in this particular tool. I understand their requirement. On the basis of the previous requirement, I build a model for the same, a design of the requirement for the same. Means यहाँ पर पेपर से आप सिस्टम में आ जाते हो. We have to build a design or a model. And then you show them that it will be look like this. No, I need something else on the top of that. Okay, let's optimize this as well. That is the meaning of the prototyping here. It is very famous technique. These techniques, there is another concept called the wireframing. Okay, these techniques work when I have a customer who is new into the industry and want to be use the tool at a first point or the day or the first time. In one of my project, I was building for one of the financial client. He says, Atul, these many fields are available. Can you build a dummy form for me? That how it will be look like. Maybe not 100% validations, no data, but it should be visible. It should be give me a confidence that how my user will be able to see. And then I built a prototyping of the same. So something like this I built for them, where I can show like this, a high level structure. This is a tool, this is going here, 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 this is going here. So that he or she should know that what I'm talking here.
Atul?
Yes.
I have a question here.
Good.
When you talk about prototyping, are you indirectly referring to POC?
POC we can say actually, but not directly, because POC is the output of that requirement gathering.
Okay.
Prototyping is the in between of the requirement gathering.
Understood. That's the difference.
Okay. Because in the POC you are doing the solutioning as well.
Yeah.
In the prototyping you're not doing the solutioning. Like if I take example like this. It is called this one.
Yeah.
So like this is not a solutioning part, right? This is not a POC. This is the high level that how it will be look like for me.
So like a roadmap. Maybe.
Roadmap भी नहीं कहेंगे यार, roadmap भी नहीं कहेंगे. Kind of a flow, I can say.
Flow, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that is more accurate.
Right. Because if you say the roadmap, it's something that how you're going to be implement this project. That is not my intention. My intention is that how the process will be look like. Okay. Says something which you elect and validate the stakeholder needs through an iterative process that create a model or a design. Okay. It is a good method. It is a proven method of the product designing part. C. It works by providing an early model to the final result, known as a prototype. Means on the basis of the information, on the basis of the document analysis, on the basis of the focus group, on the basis of the interview, I draw some model. And that model is called the prototype. I present to my customer, he says it's look good, but two more things I want to be added here. So we're improving that part. Okay. It will be a prototyping approach. Two mainly common approach they use. Throw away and evolutionary of the functional part. Throwaway means prototype are generated with a simple tool such as pen, paper, and the softwares which we can say to serve the goal of the uncovering and clarifying the requirement. अब देखो अब आपको एक prototype बनाना है. Now to do this part, either you can do in the present PPT, in the Excel, in the Word file as well, or maybe on the pen and pencil you can show create right. That is called the throwaway. मतलब बनाया और फेंक दिया. Existence नहीं है इसकी ज़्यादा. It is called the these parts. These prototypes can be an inexpensive tool to uncover or confirm the requirement to go beyond. जैसे बताना when I go for the presentations, board के ऊपर 4 boxes बनाया और एक flow बना के दिखा दिया. What is that? That is prototype only. That is throwaway. आपने साफ किया वो हट जाएगा. And then other type is the evolutionary of the functional. Prototype are created to extend initial requirement into functional solutioning as well. With the proper solutioning part, we can consider this thing. In this, maybe in this, I can say the POCs can be done or POCs can be considered. Because it says prototypes are created to extend initial requirement into functional solutioning. कि बस ऐसा आपको मिलेगा काम करता हुआ. ठीक है, there is a functional part. आप थोड़ा वर्किंग भी दिखा रहे हैं उसको. ठीक है, कोमा मिस्टेक्स, स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स हैं, बट वैलिडेशंस प्रॉपर नहीं है, चलेगा. बट दिस विल लुक लाइक दिस टू यू नाउ. This approach produces a working solution and usually require a specialized prototyping tool as well as the language. क्योंकि अब ये आप Excel sheet में तो नहीं करोगे. You need some tool, maybe Jira or something where you can actually building this part. Okay, and it will be a specialized softwares only. Where you write the codes, where you write the logic, technically write the logic and you build up that particular solution. Okay. एक मिनट रुकना जरा. ठीक है. Now आगे आपके वाला एग्जांपल्स क्या है? प्रूफ ऑफ कंसेप्ट. ये एग्जांपल्स है लेकिन प्रोटोटाइप नहीं है. ये उसका एक पार्ट हो सकता है, एक टाइप हो सकता है उसका. मैं बोलूंगा is a model created to validate the design of a system without modeling the appearance. Look and feel ऐसा होगा आपका. Like nowadays, if you want to do a whitewash in your home and you call to the interior one, he will come, he will take your requirement and he will bring a 3D model for you. Sir, ऐसा करने पे ऐसा दिखाई देगा आपको. आप बोलोगे यार नहीं पिक्चर्स में अलग होता है, कैन यू डू अ हाफ पोर्शन ऑफ माई होम, और मे बी दो थोड़ा सा दीवार पे पेंट करके दिखाओगे, हाँ सर वी कैन डू दैट, बट दैट इज अ प्रूफ ऑफ कंसेप्ट यू आर डूइंग, दैट इज वन टाइप ऑफ द प्रोटोटाइपिंग. Form study prototype. In this, you put a big boxes, and give a feel. यहाँ यूजर नेम होगा या फादर नेम होगा या रोल नंबर होगा या क्लास होगी या ईयर होगा या सन होगा, डेट ऑफ बर्थ होगी. दिस अब a simple model, a simple form base you will be creating. डेटा नहीं है, फंक्शनैलिटी नहीं है, लॉजिक्स नहीं है, but a boxes can indicate that how my form will be look like. Now best example is that if you go to buy a new phone in the showrooms, you will find the dummy mobile phone. What is that? That is the form study prototype. उसका स्क्रीन पे ऐसे दिखाएंगे कि देखो सर ये है, ये बटन होगा, साइड में 2 बटन होंगे, आपको पसंद आया, आई कैन ओपन द एक्चुअल बॉक्स फॉर यू नाउ. ठीक है, दैट इज कॉल्ड द फॉर्म स्टडी प्रोटोटाइप. यूजेबिलिटी प्रोटोटाइप, that how my end user will interact with the system. मतलब एग्जांपल इसमें जैसे मैंने बोला अपीयरेंस कॉन्फ़िगरेशन में मैटर नहीं करता सर, यूजर आएगा उसको एक फॉर्म, उसको एक विंडो देखेगी, वो यहां पर जाके लॉग इन करेगा. यूजेबिलिटी विच यू आर एबल टू यूज, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट केस. विजुअल प्रोटोटाइप इज अ प्रोडक्ट मॉडल. जब आजकल अगर आप जाओ किसी बिल्डिंग में जाओ, अगर आप किसी बिल्डर के पास जाओ, सो दे हैव अ बिग मॉडल, पूरी बिल्डिंग का मॉडल बनाएंगे, ये रोड है, यहाँ लाइट्स लगी होंगी, 2 का फैंसी कार के मॉडल होंगे. व्हाट इज दैट? दैट इज विजुअल प्रोटोटाइप. सर ऐसा आपको दिखाई देगा आपका घर, ऐसा घर आपको मिलेगा. एंड इट लास्ट अ फंक्शनल प्रोटोटाइप which has
Atul?
some. Yes, go ahead, Hitesh.
Yeah, thank you for that. Can
Hitesh, voice break हो रही है यार.
right? Sorry, I lost the connection. I was just saying, can e-commerce websites like Flipkart and Amazon be a example of visual prototyping?
No, these are the live websites. अगर आप उसको बेस बना के अपना कोई वेबसाइट बनाना चाहते हो और दिखाना चाहते हो अपने कस्टमर को, then it is a visual prototype.
Got you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so remember in the visual prototype I can say, as a giving example, जो buildings बनती हैं, I'm saying that if you go to the any of the builder, any of the hospital, they put a big model outside, right? That is a visual, so that you can visualize that how it will be look like when it become. क्योंकि उसमें आप प्रोटोटाइपिंग के लिए आपने एक प्रोटोटाइप बना के दे दिया, एग्जांपल हाउस आपने बना के दे दिया, दैट बिकम योर प्रूफ ऑफ concept. But how you will visualize the complete structure will go in this area. Okay. Now, what are the methods of this prototyping? Storyboarding. Used to visualize and textually detail the sequence of activities. कि बॉस मुझे अगर कोई प्रोटोटाइप बनाना है तो आप मुझे सीक्वेंस बताओ कि आपको क्या क्या कैसे कैसे चाहिए. मुझे अगर प्रोसेस फ्लो बताना है तो मुझे स्टेप्स चाहिए, नंबर 1, नंबर 2, नंबर 3, नंबर 4. Let's call the storyboarding. Paper prototyping. Use paper and pencil to draft an interface or the process. High level, incident से change से problem से request से knowledge. Workflow modeling. Kind of these things. At last, simulation. I remember that we have a subject in our MC, I guess, second year or third year, there is a subject called a simulation. So in that I know that if I am going to be a pilot, or like take example of the air hostess or flight crew members, they did not onboard to do the actual flight immediately. Every these institutes or the flights have a simulated environment. They have a dummy kind of aeroplane has been created in their institutes where they ask, okay, go and talk to the customer, go and see this thing, go and this thing. What is this? This is simulation. Because आप सबको नहीं लेके आ सकते एक साथ ऊपर समझाने के लिए या दिखाने के लिए. लाइसेंस लगता है, पेट्रोल लगता है, कॉस्टिंग लगता है, टिकट्स लगते हैं, बहुत चीजें रहती हैं. So you do the simulation environment here. Okay, benefits, yes. Immediately आपको दिखता है कि आपको कैसा दिखेगा, फीडबैक्स आपको मिल जाते हैं. बट लिमिटेशन क्या है? इफ अ सिस्टम और द प्रोसेस इज हाईली कॉम्प्लेक्स, तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. या तो आपको बहुत हाई लेवल दिखेगा, आपको लो लेवल बिल्कुल भी नहीं दिखेगा, उसमें समझ नहीं आएगा लो लेवल कैसे काम कर रहा है. One thing which I know that sometime when we getting a requirement and we build a prototyping, then looks good. But when we go actual for the solutioning part, the prototype can be also changed, which we did not consider, and that is due to the high complexity part. ठीक है, ये इसके दो तीन लिमिटेशंस है मेनली. फिर सबका अपना अपना थॉट होता है कि भाई मैं प्रोटोटाइप बना रहा हूँ तो अच्छा बनाऊं, कलर कंट्रास्ट रखूं, ये रखूं, वो रखूं. सो दैट इज अ टाइम टेकिंग एज वेल. सम टाइम एक्सपेक्टेशंस बढ़ जाती हैं. अब जैसे मैंने बोला कि आपको एक वर्किंग मॉडल चाहिए, उसमें आप बोलोगे नहीं सारी वैलिडेशंस भी लगा के दो, बहुत से तो आपका सिस्टम बन गया. फिर यू आर नॉट पेइंग एनीथिंग टू मी, बट यू आर बेटर गेटिंग अ न्यू सिस्टम कंप्लीटली. सो दीज आर द ड्रॉबैक्स हियर इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया. Any doubt? Any question?
I'm okay, though. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so now we left with the three. What do you want? Shall we complete or shall we take a close for today? Suraj.
Yeah, fine with me.
Fine with me.
Hitesh, what do you think?
Yeah, we can pull this off. It's okay.
Okay. Let's pull, means go ahead, right? Pull this one is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
No, आप start कर सकते हो, no problem.
Okay, 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 okay. ठीक है. मुझे लगा शायद pull this means just close now that curtains now. Okay.
नहीं, you're not that. Don't worry.
Now see this word create a confusion. I'm getting a requirement from you guys. What should do? Suraj say I'm okay, but it is open-ended. He replies also open-ended. Okay for what? Shall we close? Shall we go ahead? Hitesh says yes. You can pull it up. Pull it up means shall I pull it up means I take a meaning of pull it up means let's close this call now. Let's pull up pull down the curtains and let's go ahead or close it this part. So being a BA, it is very much important. The words you are using, the terms you are using should be understandable. I'll give you one example, then we go for this requirement workshop as well. I search in between. I'm working where now? Okay, we have guys who are working from the product-based company as well. Sorry, it's a workshop. Okay, I was facing some issue in the some implementation part. So I sent a mail to that guy that I need your answer on that part, and I loop my technical or my dev lead as well. Okay, now he replied that Atul, I am good to go, but it is a big bun. I'm confused. What should I consider that? Shall I say it's go ahead from his side, but he has some issue? Or shall I consider that okay, it's an issue, let's not go ahead. I talk to my it's very common. It's not like I'm hiding it. It's a problem. Sometimes it's a problem. It's not with me, with a lot of people actually. Okay, I ping to my this thing dev lead. Hey, that guy sent this email. Do you understand this part? She has the same answer. Atul, even I am confused. And then I say why people reply like a diplomatic manner sometime. Why they did not say yes or no when I am asking that guys, shall we go ahead with this or not? That person say yes or no. That's all simple. But he put that English in such a manner that I got confused. With me, my dad will also get confused. So it is very clear. Then I again put that statement again, guys. Can you tell me clearly? Shall I go ahead with this? Yes or no? Then he say yes, and he say, Atul, please prepare a presentation for this. We will discuss in the next meeting as well. That is a big one. Come on. Being a BA, you should be use a simple language so that people can understand. Okay, now let's come back to the next part. Requirement workshops. Very common method to use to get the requirements. Okay, जब हम तो नहीं, जब मैं एक्चुअली इस काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर में था, अरे वो वाले भैया ना यूएस जा रहे हैं 5 दिन के लिए, वो वाले भैया ना आज बॉम्बे गए हैं क्लाइंट से मिलने, तो हमें लगता था ये रोल तो बहुत बढ़िया है, कितना घूमने को मिलता है इसमें. नाउ आई केम टू नो दैट इज कॉल्ड द वर्कशॉप्स. वो जाते हैं रिक्वायरमेंट के लिए, वहां जाते हैं, रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग करते हैं और आ जाते हैं. दे हैव अ वर्कशॉप्स देयर. ओके, सो व्हाट दिस वर्कशॉप सेज हियर, and this is very common. Before COVID, people actually travel. During COVID, it has been completely lost. People came to know, no, ये तो session call पे हो सकते हैं. Now again that has been started, but not up to full extent. So what says that the requirement workshop is a structured way to capture the requirement. A workshop may be used to scope, discover, define, prioritize as well. See the words they're using. It is used to scope. मतलब आपको ये देखना है कि भाई मुझे बिल्ड क्या करना है, स्कोप डिसाइड करना है कि मुझे कौन कौन से मॉड्यूल्स लेके चलने हैं. यू वांट टू डिस्कवर इट, हाउ इट कैन बी डन, यू वांट टू डिफाइन इट, यू कैन प्रायोरिटाइज इट. माय बिजनेस पार्टनर हैज अ मीटिंग विद द क्लाइंट. He's not getting the requirement, he's doing the scoping part. He's in the workshop with the client guys. They're scoping it, they're discovering it, that what tool will be the best for you guys. They're defining it. They're prioritizing it. And then they send to me, Atul, go, this module has been signed up, go and talk to the customer on this specific module wise now. That is the meaning of the requirement workshops here. Let's come back here. It workshops being stakeholders together in order to collaborate to achieve a predefined goal. Okay, it can be predefined as well. It can be, every workshop has a predefined goal. Guys, can you travel to my site? We want to discuss the scoping part. That is again a predefined goal. Okay, in this area basically the SMEs or the key stakeholder participate for a limited time period. Okay, this is one of the question which I always ask in the interviews. If someone say I'm a B, I said okay, do you conduct the workshop? He say yes. Tell me the steps of the workshops you conduct. हम जाते हैं, रिक्वायरमेंट गैदर करते हैं, डॉक्यूमेंट करते हैं, आ जाते हैं. भाई ये तो बता प्लान कैसे करते हैं उसको, एजेंडा कौन बनाता है, एजेंडा तुम कैसे, दिस क्वेश्चन हैज बीन आस्क्ड टू मी, हाउ यू प्रिपेयर द वर्कशॉप एजेंडा, व्हाट यू कंसीडर फॉर द वर्कशॉप एजेंडा. The simple question asks, okay, Atul, you need to be go to the client site for the 5 days. How you will prepare the agenda for the 5 days? It is important because this is the part of the requirement planning and the management. This is the part of the pre-workshop activities. Okay, and it is important because यहाँ पर investment जो बहुत बड़ी है. एक वर्कशॉप में आपने 10 लोगों को बुलाया. Those 10 people are the senior guys in their area. You wasted 80 hours अगर आपको कुछ fruitful information नहीं मिला उसमें से. Because those 10 guys decline, cancel their all meetings of the day and they're coming for this workshop. ठीक, तो a workshop may be held for the different purpose including planning, analysis, designing, scoping, requirement allocation, modeling, anything, or maybe combinations. But you should very clearly on the workshop generally includes a set of stakeholders, a defined goal होता है, collaborative होती है ये, और एक फैसिलिटेटर होगा और इसका एक प्रोडक्ट मॉडल डिफाइन होगा इसमें एक. ठीक. It is good from the trust perspective, mutual understanding perspective, because you're meeting with the people, understanding and telling them the solution as well. मतलब this is the technique which is very good actually. It's very good, very good and very common. But now it has been changed to the online. पहले ऑफलाइन भी होते थे, अब ऑनलाइन हो गए. Prepare for the workshop. Same points are same in each and every technique. Purpose and desired output. Stakeholders who will facilitate. Create the, see, it's saying create the agenda. Before you go to the workshop, you should clear the agenda. Even people say day-wise agenda, hours-wise agenda you can prepare. 2 घंटे इससे बात होगी, 2 घंटे इससे बात होगी, 2 घंटे इससे बात होगी. लास्ट का 1 घंटा ट्रबल शूटिंग होगा, QA होगा, सॉल्यूशनिंग होगा, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होगा. Determine how the output will be captured. All these things we are using. We are doing practical. All these things we are doing practical actually. Because ये हमारा डे इन डे आउट का काम होता है. वर्कशॉप्स हम करते ही रहते हैं, ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन, दैट्स मैटर. वर्कशॉप रूल, स्पॉन्सर, पूरा का पूरा फंडिंग कहां से आ रहा है, फैसिलिटेटर, कौन इसको ट्रैक करेगा कंप्लीट कि वी आर ऑन द एजेंडा और नॉट, मिनट्स है कि नहीं है, सब लोग आ रहे हैं कि नहीं आ रहे, ग्राउंड रूल्स होंगे फॉलो हो रहे हैं कि नहीं हो रहे हैं, ये सब चीजें. स्क्राइब, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पार्ट सारी. टाइम कीपर, गाइस 1 घंटा हो गया, योर टाइम इज गोइंग ओवर नाउ, लेट्स कनेक्ट टुमारो अगेन. पार्टिसिपेंट लिस्ट, SMEs, इसमें सब इन वर्कशॉप्स में पूरी जनता नहीं आती, बहुत लिमिटेड लोग होते हैं. Very limited people are there. More people if you put in the workshop is going to be spoiling the things now. Maximum जो मैंने देखे हैं 2 या 3 लोग होते हैं सर्विस प्रोवाइडर से, 3 से 4 लोग होते हैं क्लाइंट साइड से, बस 7 या 8 लोगों में वर्कशॉप हो जाती है मैक्स. क्योंकि जितने लोग आप बुलाओगे सबके व्यूज अलग अलग हो जाएंगे, then it is going to be difficult for you. And then conduct the workshop. Major point, ground rules. Respect the opinions of others. लड़ना नहीं होता इसमें. You know that he's saying the wrong words, wrong techniques, but still respect. You can cover your words by some other sayings, but don't disrespect. नहीं agree, that's fine. Everyone is expected to be contribute. ये नहीं कि 4 लोग काम कर रहे हैं और 5 बैठ के अपना WhatsApp चेक कर रहे हैं. Not should be like this. Discussion that is off topic should be limited. चाय आई तो चाय पे बातें शुरू हो गई, आधा घंटा उसमें लगा दिया. Discuss the issue, not the people. Very much important. Very important point. Generally in the workshop when we discuss about the processes, we start discussing about the people. अरे वो ऐसे नहीं करता यार, वो ऐसे नहीं करता. मैं people के लिए नहीं, मैं processes के लिए यहाँ पर आया हूँ, issues के लिए आया हूँ मैं. And agreement on how decisions are made. Because in a workshop, as a BA, your responsibility is to get the agreements, to get the decisions. Guys, let's close it. Discuss हो गया, दोबारा नहीं open होगा point. And on the wrap up time, any open action item you have to be record, you have to be tell, documentation, distributions, communication should be done here after the workshop wrap up. Benefits, yes, we all know because we all are participating. But limitations क्या है? Availability बहुत कम होती है. Nowadays everybody say okay I'm in the workshop but on the other side, they open their laptop and start checking the emails as well. आपकी डिपेंडेंसी बन जाती है एक्सपर्टाइज के ऊपर वर्कशॉप में. अगर मान लीजिए वो 1 घंटा लेट है, आधा घंटा लेट है, यू कैन नॉट किक ऑफ. डिसीजन मेकर नहीं आया मेरे पास अभी, हाउ आई कैन स्टार्ट दैट पार्ट. एंड टू मेनी पार्टिसिपेंट्स कैन स्लो डाउन द प्रोसेस एज वेल. So these are the major drawbacks of the workshop. Here, easy है, छोटा सा, इसलिए मैंने इसको इसलिए पिकअप करना इसको easy था कि we know these things. हाँ भाई सूरज, 10 मिनट लूंगा बस, ज्यादा नहीं.
हाँ.
Okay, ठीक है. Now coming to the reverse engineering, a good topic. रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग नहीं है क्या? एक ही जगह रखा है ना रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग. Let me come back to my slides then. Reverse engineering. Reverse engineering says कि जो आज की स्टेट में बना हुआ है ना, उससे उल्टा चलना शुरू करते हैं. This thing we used in the quality models, in the process improvements. भाई दो तरीके हैं, देखो, there's two ways to do this work. Either start from scratch, either what you have, start digging out that and find out the gaps. So what they say, reverse engineering, the situation where the software of an existing system has a little or outdated documentation, it is necessary to understand the what system actually do. Reverse engineering is an allocation technique that can extract the implemented requirement from the software code. Important. Documentation आपके पास 10 साल पुरानी है, अपडेट ही नहीं हुआ, but system आपका सही चल रहा है. Then better either draw the workflow on the basis of the current system, or either go and open the code and understand that what has been written. That is called the reverse engineering. उल्टा जो काम करते हैं, इंजीनियरिंग करो लेकिन उल्टे तरीके से करो. जो आज है उसके पीछे चलो, वहां से नहीं जहां से जो कल था उसको आगे लेके चलो. नहीं, जो आज है, जो करंट में चल रहा है, उसको इवैल्यूएट करना शुरू करते हैं. There are two categories of the reverse engineering: black box and the white box. The system product is studied without examining the internal structure. मतलब कि मुझे किसी ने बोला यार डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं क्या तुम्हारे पास चेंज मैनेजमेंट के जो आज के टाइम में सिस्टम में है, मैंने कहा नहीं है लेकिन मैं बना देता हूँ. दैट इज कॉल्ड द ब्लैक बॉक्स, क्योंकि आपको इंटरनल नहीं पता उसमें लॉजिक्स क्या लिखे हुए हैं, बट ऑन द हाई लेवल यू कैन क्रिएट अ वर्क फ्लोज. White box, inner working of the system products are studied, that how the business logic has been written, how the business rules has been written, how the workflow has been defined. Generally, this technique we use in the quality formats. Like if I say, there's a concept called the quality analysis, or the what I can say. I worked in this department as well. So there we do the reverse engineering. कि यार पता करो इस टीम का ड्रॉबैक्स, इस टीम की गैप्स क्या है. डॉक्यूमेंटेशन तो नहीं है उनके पास, बहुत पुराने हैं, ठीक है, कोई नहीं, पता करते हैं. हम आज का सिस्टम समझते हैं, फिर देखते हैं गैप क्या है. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड द रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग स्पेसिफिकली. लेट मी डू लिटिल मोर. The results of the reverse, ये मैंने कॉपी तो यहीं से किया लेकिन मुझे मिल नहीं रहा. The results of reverse engineering can provide understanding how a product work more comprehensively than by the merely observing. आपने देख लिया कि क्या है. जब आपने रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग, when you started reverse engineering, then you are understanding that how it has been built up completely. It means it is to investigate the error and the limitation. We do the reverse engineering. Let me take example here. देखो जैसे ये है ना, चिप नहीं तो बहुत ज्यादा हाई लो है। देखो ये है रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग. In the reverse engineering, we see that what has been implemented now. Then we see the designing part. And then we analyze that design. In the forward engineering, we first analyze कि क्या बना हुआ है, कैसे बना हुआ है और कैसे implement हुआ है. This is the difference. Generally, this reverse engineering is useful when you don't have any prior information. You didn't have any prior documentation with you, or that is too old, which is not giving me the right understanding. That is called the reverse engineering here. Information extract, model, and a review. That is called the reverse part. I'm looking for some simple example here. Let me find out. Forward or reverse engineering, view model, tool चेन्नई इसी में चलते हैं. ठीक है. Okay. A means. अरे 7:30 हो गए क्या? I need to be close. Actually, I have another meeting. Give me 1 minute, guys. Chalo. Come back. Only 3-4 minutes are there. So in the reverse engineering, if I say mainly just on the high level part, what is available to you now? You start looking on this instead of asking that how it has been built up. आज के सिस्टम को एनालाइज करके आपको गैप्स आइडेंटिफाई करने हैं. Then it is called the reverse engineering. A means to investigate error and limitation in the existing program. Details to help make product and system compatible. थोड़ा सा अलग लग रहा है मुझे. ठीक है guys, let's do one thing. Let's not pick it up this. I'll pick it up this tomorrow again. ये दो हैं, कल इसको pick up करते हैं आराम से. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा मुझे इसको R&D करके और डेटा निकालता हूँ. We'll discuss in detail then. ठीक है जी.
That will be fine.
Yep. Let me stop the recording here and take a quick attendance.